So hello to my beautiful Cancerians. I hope you're snug as a bug in a rug in your home when you watch this, because nobody loves a gorgeous, warm and cosy abode like a Cancerian. That's your happy place, isn't it? You might be a little bit of an unusual Cancerian and that you like to travel and bounce around. As long as you've got a beautiful comfy bed to rest your weary head, Cancer, there's not much more that you desire than that. But again, I try not to put people in boxes. This is just the general overview of the archetype of Cancer. So this reading is to cover the rest of November for you, together with this full moon that we're having next week on the 8th of November in Taurus. So if you are Cancer Ascendant, so your first house starts with Cancer, this full moon will be hitting your third house of communications. It's like exploration, it's where we investigate, it's where we do a lot of our learning. It's also the house that rules like our local neighbourhood network, so short trips of travel. It's not like long distance travel. It's a very mental house because it's ruled by Gemini. That's its rulership. So it's where we do exploration, investigation, inquiry and research of all kinds. It also rules like connections, communications, wires and tubes, anything that we can get through our body mind, such as the voice, letters and what have you. It's this area where we explore and search for the limits of our life, whatever we're working with at the moment. So it is a very mental house because it's ruled by Gemini. And it's also to do with finding, furthering and pairing, like all manner of questioning. So it does also rule siblings. So remember, Taurus is very much like on the physical, on the earth plane, and also this is a full moon eclipse, so it's going to be quite a powerful moment. So just watch around for that third house, really, for you Cancerian Ascendant, mostly for travel, local network, siblings and communication. That's where it's asking you to pivot, a closing off a cycle for you. So I'm going to work with, for you, the energy oracle cards. I'm going to ask Spirit to give me an overview. Oh, here we go. There's so many people closing out like cycles around this time. For some people it will be closing off a karmic soulmate connection, but I feel that's for a small amount of people. You've got the fifth chakra here, so there's going to be things that needing to be said in your relationship, speaking up. What else around this? You've got there's quite a few cards going on here. Oh, so much energy around you, Cancer, going on. Okay, I'm just going to pull some tarot with this. I feel like I need clarification on all these cards because they're not really specific. So for November for Cancer, what's showing up for Cancer? Right, so the Nine of Pentacles has come out. So the Magician is in a neutral position, so it's really up to you. There's choices that are to be made this month for you, Cancer, which is there's certain things in your life where you've done like the spiritual learning and the lessons, because the seventh chakra is here, which is this is about universal spiritual downloads. Now you've got the world next to it, so it could be that some of you are going to really dive deep during this Scorpio time. Like, you're going to get your books out, you're going to really learn. Like, that third house energy is like, I really want to just go back and, esoteric knowledge, education, that kind of thing, but from an enjoyable perspective. That might open up for some people. Some of you might even be putting to use now what you've learned, because the Nine of Pentacles is about living a rich, rewarding life. It's about being, life providing you with all the things that you need, which for you it's lovely food in your belly and a nice warm house and good friends and good cheer. It's really, the Caring Connections card is around this as well. So for some Cancerians, it will be just wanting to spend time with your animals and those that you love, and that is it. But I'm actually feeling for some of you that there's some of you closing out a cycle with family members, because the caring connection is there. And the indecision card is like, you know, when I see this card, it's a number 8, it's a bit like, well, really, do I really want to? And for some of you, it will be cutting cords with some family members. And again, this will not be for everybody, but there'll be certain people in your life you will be cutting cords with for good. That you've been thinking, this is like, the way I'd answer this, if you're listening to this and you're like, I'm not sure if this is me, because the indecision cards come out, is this is stuff you've been thinking about for a long time. You've been pondering over. This is not a spontaneous decision. But this eclipse might be bringing out the end of communication. Maybe like, say if you've got a toxic sibling or somebody, and obviously I'm not here to tell you what to do or what's right for you, you know this, but like it could be that you've been dealing with somebody for a long time and they are just like, it's just, you've done a lot of, you know, interior learning, you know who you are, you know what works for you, and it's like that. It's like that saying, you know, you can't flog a dead horse. I know it's a terrible saying, but you know when you can't, a relationship, it has to be both ways. So there's an element of you really retracting back your energy from certain people in your lives. For some people, it will be the end of a cycle of these karmic relationships that haven't really provided you with what feels like a safety net in them. You feel like there's something quite off or something quite not right. And I feel like Cancer is going to be closing off this cycle of communications with people who are, you know, why keep something going that's run its course is what I feel. So there's going to be a closing off with this because there's learning around emotions. There's going to be new offers from an emotional stance. You've got the ability to do this in a healthy way. The Magician is here, but I do feel this is stuff that you've really thought about for a long time, and the Ace of Cups is at the bottom of the pack. So this is not like an overnight decision. It could be like, you know, look, this is not going anywhere. It's a bit like, you know, when people say Page of Wands is there. So again, some of you could be hearing news around work. For some of you, it's going to be like, I'm just not going to work with these people anymore. Yeah, like where I'm restricted. So where your creativity and your ability to be able to like speak up and, you know, be able to put your energy into something that's fruitful and actually worth your time, I'm hearing. So the Page of Wands is news coming around work. It could be that there's new contracts coming up for you. You've got 2 pages here. So it could be something that's emotionally fulfilling for you, but there is this element of I'm just not going to work around this energy. So the 8 of Swords is where we feel quite repressed. We can be like held back. There's no holding back for you, Cancer. So there's going to be something around this month of, you know, the world is closing off this cycle. It's like, you know, from your intuition, you're very in tune with, you know, what works for you. The indecision is very much an indication for you when you're not sure about someone or something. That's a very, very strong inkling for you to really trust that strong gut instinct that you have, Cancer. A lot of Cancerians are very naturally psychic, but what can happen is sometimes they get hijacked by other people needing stuff from them, and, you know, I don't want to say taking advantage, but, you know, jumping in, and before you know it, Cancer's like, well, what's just happened there? But what Spirit is saying is, remember, you are a cardinal sign. You do like to be in charge. So I do feel there's some element here of taking back control in your life. And this is where you've maybe been asking about, well, you know, money or being able to afford luxuries for yourself. This is all to do with this. It's to no longer be wasting your time around this type of energy, because 10 of Swords is like, it is the ruin card. The only way is up from the 10 of Swords. So what does Cancer not see in November, please? 4 of Swords. 4 of Swords. Yeah, so there's something around you, Cancer, with self-worth, but it's something to do with what you communicate with yourself about what you're willing to accept and what you're not willing to accept. So I just feel like there's a break from the old coming. So the 4 of Swords is a rest period. So there's going to be an interlude in November for you, where you're going to be taking a break. You might be looking at your resources and your finances, and you might be looking at restructuring them. You also might be looking at, if you're a freelancer, if you're a contract worker, what kind of areas that you want to work in, or you might be branching out, is what I'm hearing. This Ace of Wands is a new chapter in your work and your creativity. You will get a chance to take the rest, and it might be that you are guided to take a bit of a dive deep. So there might be some questioning here that you will go through during this month, which is the 7th chakra, is your crown chakra. So this is receiving guidance from spirit, directly from source. So there might be a need to dive deep and to go into, because this is a time of year where a lot of shadow work gets done as well, which is brilliant. It's perfect for it in Scorpio time. And remember, Scorpio is like your zodiac brother and sister, is your zodiac sibling, because it is fixed water. You are that, if you think about water, it's one of the most powerful elements. So whereas like Scorpio can be like a fixed body of water, you are a powerful body of water that likes to take charge. So when you sometimes get forced into this, like, this is not working and I need to look at why, what happens is you get really flooded with a lot of psychic information, but you also get given a lot of downloads, Cancer, of like, once that boundary's been crossed, you're done. And for some of you, it will be around money. It will be what I'm putting in, I'm not getting out. And Spirit's saying there's absolutely no shame in this. You know, nobody should be shamed for respecting themselves, because actually when we're being taken advantage of at work, or in any kind of situation where we are providing a service or a product or help to somebody, you know, we can't give from an empty cup. So there's an element of restoration around this for Cancer, but also about, in order to receive, we sometimes have to step back and we have to reassess what it is we're giving our time and our energy and our money to. And if it's not working, then we need to readjust that, and we need to look at, you know, try a new strategy and a new way forward. And I feel like with you, Cancer, you're going to get all your answers are going to come from within this month. Spirit is saying it's a really good time for you to really get tuned into this water energy. Like what I'm hearing is the guidance is going to be available to you very fast and furious this month as a water sign in a water time of the year. Right, so possible outcome for Cancer, please, for November. Okay, so these are yet to happen. So these are on the side here. So it's to do a lot of you. It's with career. With some of you, it's going to be about an up-leveling of your appearance. So these cards, when they come out sideways for me, I take them as it's going to happen. It's not yet happened yet. It's the potential here is Wheel of Fortune, things really moving forward, really in your favour, you know, making these choices. Again, Spirit are not going to give you the answers in these collective readings. Sometimes they don't even give it to you in a personal reading. What they will do is they will pinpoint you in the right direction. And what I feel is Spirit are giving you a big, like, motivational speech here, so to speak, to say, look, Cancer, it's time now. It's time for you to make some decisions and to stick by them, to not, when people pull you back and you think, oh, well, that's easy money and that's, you know, quick. It's your insecurity that will draw you back to that. It's like a part of you doesn't believe there's going to be money or opportunities coming from new sources. But what this is saying is that there are Page of Cups and the Page of Wands here are telling me that there are opportunities coming in which are much more in line with this Virgo energy, 9 of Pentacles, which can be Virgo can be health and healing for some of you. So it might be in that element, it might be in nutrition, it might be in wealth management for some people, because the 9 of Pentacles is about luxury, and it's about a really good quality of life. This man in the picture is in his fineries. This is somebody who's very abundant. So there is something around you here, learning to step it up for yourself and ask for more out of your life. And the Queen of Wands, so she's like the entrepreneurial queen for me. So this is like self-employment. This is somebody who is, you know, really well put together. So like their whole product, their brand, if I want to be like modern terms, and I know it's the tarot, but you know, she's like, she is her brand. So there is some element here of this a leveling up for you. Whether you're a man or a woman, it doesn't matter. It's this divine feminine glow up energy. So, you know, be receptive to the guidance you're going to get this month as Cancer, because it's going to ask you to let go and to make some changes, and it might be in like what you're willing to accept and not accept for yourself, and really sticking to that, you know, this internal decision making process, and to move away from these repressive kind of like what I would almost call like, I mean, we've not got the devil here, so it's not vampirical, but you know, these are things that you might work in where it takes more than what you receive in your payment, and it's time to readjust that imbalance now, Cancer. So sending you all my love for an abundant month for you, Cancer, and hope you receive wonderful new ideas, because it looks like there's something about to pop here for you. Open that gate and walk through, because the Wheel of Fortune is on your side. So I'll see you very soon, Cancer. Take good care. Lots of love.